pulled out of their cars and shot in the
growing.
head, and we're building concentration camps. Wanted me to crash, and I want to be
concentration camps.
No,
let me take you over there.
Let me take you to West Virginia, where we're building them now. Like, we're building 19 in America. You don't need to take me over there.
Prisons?
Okay, well, that is a segue, if I ever ask for one.
After this, I don't know if CNN is going to invite Kevin O'Leary back. I mean, he makes them look dumber than they already are, which is absolutely incredible. I mean, we laugh at CNN, they're idiots, and we're going to continue laughing at them today in this video. Let's get right into it.
This narrative, it has to be bipartisan. By every metric. Every 24 months, we go through this debate over and over again. When every country in the Nordic countries in Europe, France, Switzerland, Canada, Australia, solved this problem decades ago. A, you got to be a citizen to vote. You got to prove it. We all agree at the table on that one. Number two, there's such advancement in technology to make sure there's no cheating. We should implement it here and get all this crapola over with. It's getting almost boring every 24 months. Oh, the election's rigged. Oh, this guy's doing this guy's doing that. No other country has this narrative.
Kevin,
Nobody.
I agree with you. It is getting incredibly
it's ridiculous.
boring. We talk about this all the time.
She just wants people to have voter ID. I don't think there's any dictator that's all for free and fair elections. And look, this is something that the vast majority of Americans want. They want proof of citizenship. This is something that the vast majority of countries also have, whether it's India or Brazil. Some developing nations are able to figure this out. I think we should be able to figure this out as well. And I also want to address, because we've discussed on this show, whether or not proof of citizenship is too onerous. And the bottom line is that Democrats don't want voter ID at all. If it's passports, driver's license, Schumer has said he would not enact the SAVE Act, not vote for it, or any similar measure. When Georgia tried to enact any form of voter ID, just some rough guardrails to make sure that elections were safe in 2021, Biden's DOJ sued them. So this seems to be a big issue that Democrats are opposing, and I would concede that Kristi Noem's turn of phrase was clumsy there.
Georgia already has voter ID.
Right, but in 2020,
it's not that complicated. I mean, voter ID is pretty simple. In fact, like 85% of all voters agree that we should have voter ID everywhere. So I don't understand why this is even a debate. I mean, it's ridiculous to not have to show proof of identification when you go and vote.
Biden's DOJ did
Stacey
try to
Abrams,
stop them.
Jim Clyburn have all come out and said they would be fine with voter ID. I think the biggest question is not voter ID, but what counts as an ID. That's been one of the biggest issues that's surrounding this.
Yeah, Lydia's right that Americans, including Democrats, I think, overwhelmingly are in favor of at least voter ID at the ballot place. Higher percentage of Republicans, but 80+% of all Americans are at least in favor of you have to show some sort of ID when you vote.
You would have to be a radical extremist to believe that you don't have to show ID when you go and vote. You have to show ID when you do so many other things. You have to have an ID to have a driver's license. You have to have an ID to be able to buy alcohol, tobacco. It's a pretty basic requirement. It's not jumping through a bunch of hooplas to get there. Like, it's a pretty basic freaking requirement.
Democrats want to see a fighter. Decorum is over with. Clutching of the pearls.
Who would
going
that be?
high.
Anybody in mind?
Yeah, I just named them. Representative Garcia, Jasmine Crockett, who I know Republicans love talking about 24 hours a day. Governor Newsom, who Donald Trump can't seem to stop talking about.
Newsom?
Yeah, he gives them to her real good. He makes y'all real upset. He makes y'all real upset. Tesla and Figaro here that loves giving it to you the same way you
on a bipartisan basis, you want to put that guy in charge of America?
No,
I didn't say that. California.
No,
California
I
is
said,
dumb.
I said bring the same energy.
I like that guy, but he can't manage his way out of a wet paper bag.
Well, he sure got Trump talking 24 hours a day.
I think
So that's the bar now that the left is using. If Trump tweets about you, if Trump posts on Truth Social, if Trump mentions you multiple times, and I guess you're qualified to run the United States of America, even if he's mocking you. Oh my goodness. California's a shithole. You have so many massive profile celebrities, massive profile entrepreneurs like Elon Musk and even Mark Zuckerberg. They're all leaving California. Joe Rogan, they're all leaving California because they don't want no part of it because it's disgusting there. I mean, it's not what it used to be. And it's all because of Gavin Newsom.
The past.
While we bash all this stuff out,
wasn't
why is
bashing.
it that the world keeps investing in America and the Dow keeps hitting new highs every day? Is that not an index of what people think about the economy and the future of America?
No.
Every single week, a new high.
I think we agree.
If we compare.
So what would you change? What do you want to do?
Well, I think if you only look at America as based on how the economy and the Dow is doing, you're forgetting about the American
because
people.
that's what lifts us
There's
all
about
up.
10% of people who are involved
so you want
in the
a crap
Dow.
economy instead?
Why would that be the contrast?
You would
I
rather
want
reverse
everyone to
it?
be
Let's
involved
have
in
a
the
crap
economy.
economy.
But to say we don't need to care about Epstein because the Dow hit 50,000. We don't need to care about people's health care because the Dow.
But what does that have to do with the Dow highs?
But you keep talking about the stock market like it's the country.
No, I talk
and
about
that's
the American
not the
economy
same
and
thing.
jobs,
And it's not just the Dow. It's, inflation, core inflation
It's
is at a
the
four-year
index
low.
of the American economy.
Real GDP is growing at the highest rate
And
in
people are
years.
being pulled out of their
Real
cars and
wages
shot
are
in the
growing.
head, and we're building.
These people are so delusional. I mean, the economy is doing great. People are investing. Businesses want to invest. Foreign businesses, foreign countries want to pour money, and they are pouring money into America. Trump is doing phenomenal things, and he's only been in for a year this term. Imagine how much better it's going to be in another year, let alone 3 more years.
It's
Is at a
the
four-year
index of
low.
the American economy.
Real GDP is growing at the highest rate
And
in
people are
years.
being pulled out of their
Real
cars and
wages
shot
are
in the
growing.
head, and we're building concentration camps. There's lots of things that you could say.
What?
It's not just how the economy is doing. And the problem that we got ourselves here
What
in
do
the
you
first
want,
place
China
is
instead?
because why do you say that? Why do I want China? I want the economy to
Concentration
crash, and I
camps.
want
You
to be China.
concentration camps.
No.
Let me take you over there.
Let me take you to West Virginia, where we're building them now. Like, we're building 19 in America. You don't need to take me over there.
Prisons?
Okay, well, that is a segue, if I ever ask for one.
What the fuck? This woman is saying that prisons are concentration camps, dude. The left is losing their mind. Kevin O'Leary is making these people look so stupid. Oh my goodness. How are you trying to compare a prison to a fucking concentration camp? The audacity is just incredible.
I don't like hearing those stories. I want everyone to be safe and get the health care and what they need. I think it is a reminder, though, that we frankly don't have the resources to provide health care for the millions of illegal people who came in here. And on the other point of people sort of complaining about
You mean
these
in the jails or
detention
just in
centers.
general?
Just in general. It's interesting. I mean, for years, the media ignored these stories about people who were complaining, whether it was in Texas on a border state or Springfield, Ohio, of immigrants who were flooding their towns and they didn't have resources at all.
But you're being asked
and
about children in a
it's
detention
interesting
center,
that
not
that was
about
never
immigrants
covered.
taking health care.
And now
That was covered.
it
was covered.
It was ridiculed. People who.
It was definitely covered.
People who were trying to erect the border
The question
wall
is,
in
should
their
we be keeping
facility
children in
Texas.
detention facilities without the proper health care?
I think I would like. My understanding is children are getting health care there. I think they should get. I'm saddened to hear of that report. If that's true, most of the reporting I've seen on these detention centers are that people are getting education and health care. So I, of course.
Well, look, I mean, I think both things can be true at the same time. It is.
We're getting education.
I blame these parents,
want
for putting their children in this position.
Hold on.
I just want to stop pretending like we just treat everybody so well, in our prison system, including, those who are American citizens. There's a documentary right now, about the Alabama inmates I'm sure you've seen on how they're being treated, within our facilities. Let's stop acting like there's not something called the
American
private.
citizens
Yes, American
that
citizens.
break the law and go to
No,
prison?
everybody doesn't always break the law and go to prison. See, that's where you've been so focused on the Dow and haven't been focused on what's actually happening.
I'm focused on breaking the law.
No.
You
and I'm
shouldn't
focused
break the law
and
if
I'm
you
focused
want to
on,
stay out
and
of
I'm
prison.
focused on something called due process and focused on people who will get incarcerated before they're actually found guilty. Something called where people can't afford
you're okay
bail.
if somebody murders
no, I
somebody
didn't say
and they
that.
shouldn't
I didn't
go
say
to
nothing
prison?
about no murder. Here you go
Well, how
again
about
picking
that?
up. Well,
You said
I'll
break
give
the
you
law.
a real time. No,
All right,
I didn't
let me
say
just
break
let
the law.
Tezlyn finish
I said
her thought.
that
We're almost out of time.
You go to prison.
Everybody don't break the law and just go to prison. It doesn't
Kevin,
work
we're
that way.
almost
It
out
may
of
work
time.
that way. It may
People
work
that
that
don't
way.
break the
Yeah,
law.
they absolutely
Do
do.
they get a trial first? I
Breaking
think they do,
news.
actually.
No, they don't. See, that's where you're getting
Oh,
confused.
we're not in
That's where
America anymore.
That's right. Now you finally got a
Good for
round
you.
of applause.
What country are you
now he
talking
finally
about?
the country that I've been living in, that my
Show me
ancestors have been in.
that is
we can
not
go
how
through.
America works.
Oh, see, that
That's
hasn't how it
why-
worked for
All right,
you.
Kevin,
That's
Kevin.
how it hasn't worked for you.
Kevin, hang on a
Goes
second.
back to the Dow.
Is we have an appellate
It hasn't
process.
worked
Kevin,
for you.
hang on a
See,
second.
that's the system that has
Kevin,
worked
I
for
don't
you.
break the
That's
law.
not the system that
We are
hasn't
getting
worked for me.
derailed. Just a
Yeah, because we're
second.
getting
Just a
derailed and
second.
we're really about to go there.
second.
So let's.
All right, we're just talking
feeling good about that
we're talking
conversation.
about a
I'm
lot of
feeling good
different
about it
things
as well.
here. Okay, she's making a legitimate point that some people stay imprisoned even when they're not having a trial, and that's a
You don't want to
controversial
go
issue.
to prison, don't break the law.
Right.
Okay.
See, this is where
It's
called
pretty
innocent
simple.
until proven
Right.
guilty. That is a
And
principle.
you
that
get a
exists
trial in
this
America.
country.
Yes, but Kevin,
exactly.
we have the
All right.
highest prison population in the
Yes,
world.
we
It
do.
is a giant moneymaker for the prison industrial
Then
complex.
let's open
and if
the
you are
gates
paid
and let
per
everybody
prisoner,
out again and start
All right.
again.
Oh my
All right, we
God,
gotta
there
go,
you
my
go
friend.
again.
That's what you want.
And yes, then let's have no prisons at all. That's what I'm
Coming up
saying.
for
I mean, what's the solution? If people are committing crime, what the hell are you supposed to do with them? First of all, there are there's not hundreds of thousands, there's millions of people that are taking up the jail system, millions of criminals that are actual illegals. So those assholes need to be deported, which is what the Trump administration is doing, which is going to clear up a lot of the prisons, a lot of the system, right? And then you got to stop radicalizing the population. And that's what the left is doing, being very divisive, calling for attacks on federal agents, calling for attacks on Republicans, creating that divisiveness within the society. You start to educate people, you start to bring people together, you stop being so divisive. All of a sudden now, you stop having an increase in crime, but already crime is really starting to crack down. You go harder on punishments, which is what President Trump is doing. And then all of a sudden now criminals like, yeah, you know what? I don't want to be in jail for like 10 years, or I don't want to face a death penalty. So I don't think I'm going to commit that crime. If people aren't afraid of the law, they're not going to respect it, right? That's what happens. So you need to start making the law a little bit tighter, a little bit tougher. And then people are going to, not want to commit crimes because holy shit, it's a pretty freaking big thing to do to commit a crime and go to jail or face a death penalty.
Society was violent
Yeah.
from 2,500 years
Gotcha.
ago.
It's so interesting that you said that, because right before we went to break, you asked me what country was I living in. This one that we just went through.
You should be
the country
happy to
that
live
did
here.
the country that just did what they did. So for you to sit here and act like you just didn't say, what country are you talking about? What country, puts people in jail wrong? What country enslaves folks, which is pretty much the private prison system? What country does this? You can't possibly be a history buff and also say that as well.
Let me give you how
So-
bad it can be. The Romans used to burn to the
You
ground.
can't never
and
give me how bad it
salt
could be.
the
You
earth.
could never give me how bad it could be. I live it on
That
a
was
daily
bad.
basis,
The
baby.
Romans
I
were
live it
pretty
on
bad.
a daily basis, honey.
They were bad
I
dudes.
live it on a daily basis. You can never tell me how bad it could be. But I would encourage you to actually be the history buff that you claim that you are,
Well, where
and
do you
really
wanna
get some
move to?
understanding. It's not about me. I'm not going nowhere. I'm staying right here.
the question
You don't
here-
need to give me no visa to China.
Kevin,
Baby,
I
I'm a
think the
veteran. I'm
question
staying
here
right
would
here.
You
be,
like North
guys,
Korea? How about
we don't have a
that
ton
one?
of time in this
Cuba?
segment. Go
How
ahead.
about that?
I think the question.
You think I love America?
I'm
hope
sure
you
you
do.
do.
No, I mean, do you? As a military veteran,
Of
I'm a
course.
veteran, do you think I love America?
Of
and do
course.
you also think that erasing what actually happened to my ancestors that actually fought for this
I
country
don't think
when
it
they
should
couldn't
be
even sit at land?
erased.
But it's not just about trying to erase it. It's about actually acknowledging and doing something about it. It's one thing for me to acknowledge something, and there's something else to sit here and act like there's nothing that needs to be corrected. This lovely gentleman sat right here and tried to erase it, literally sitting next to me, literally. So and even
I don't think she loves America.
And even doing the comparison, saying, would you rather go to China or not go to China? Are you a veteran? So that means you never raised the pause means no. So that means he never raised his
Wait a
hand to say,
second.
I'm willing to die for this country. Let's stop talking about just the Dow. Not only was I willing to die for this country, both of my grandparents
Thank you
were.
for your service.
That's right. Thank me for my service. So how dare he
I
sit here
thank
and
you for
ask
your
me.
service.
So how dare
And
he sit here and
I
ask
feel
me
proud
would
that
I
you're
rather
able
be
to
in China
raise
when
these
I was willing to
topics.
die for the country that is locking up the people that we're talking about. There are more black men enslaved than those who were enslaved in 1850 in the prison system right now in 1850 that did not actually get the due process that you guys are talking about, that actually had to take plea bargains because they could not afford adequate law attorneys, which is why I'm in law school, by the way, right now. Shout out to FAMU. So to sit here and ask me, what country do I live
Let me
in?
point
It's
something
called
out to
America.
you.
You can't point nothing out.
I
That's
do.
what
I
you
want to
keep
say
getting
this.
confused.
If you were on the
Last
Abby
word,
Phillips
Well, I
show
don't wanna hear
Chinese
it.
version, you wouldn't be
But
here
I'm not the
tomorrow.
Chinese version.
You're
I'm
in
here at the
America.
American
You get to
version.
say
The
these
black.
things.
I know,
You
and I'm
should enjoy
saying
your
it,
freedoms.
and I'm saying it, and I'm enjoying it,
I'm
and I
proud
fought
that you
for
can
mine
say that.
and yours.
All
So
right.
thank me for
I
my
wouldn't
service.
All right, my friends,
disparage
listen.
Thank me for my service.
Listen,
I'm not
I-
disparaging. I just want you to thank me.
We're going to bring this to a close.
Holy crap, dude. Kevin O'Leary, the voice of reason on CNN. I don't think they're going to invite him back on. I mean, he makes them look insanely stupid, which is, I mean, quite phenomenal because, they're pretty stupid to begin with. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit the like, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye for now.